Just to try to stay focused. Don't never let anything try to get you off your game plan. Maybe there's the devil or something. You know what I mean? Trying to
It's coming out publicly. So now, a lot of people have something to say. Will the fight still go on? I have no idea. You get what I'm saying? Lamont Roach, you might need to make contingency plans or whatever.
It's like, even if you want to give Gervonta the benefit of the doubt and say that he's innocent, when you got track record of 4 or 5 DV cases, all proven guilty, bro, it gets to a point.
Following his recent arrest, Gervonta Davis has spoken out, saying he's now refocusing on his career. The planned rematch with Lamont Roach is in doubt, leaving fans unsure about what lies ahead. Some argue that Davis's fame makes him an easy target for accusations, yet the threat to his boxing future is undeniable. While details remain unconfirmed, the rising tension could ultimately derail the fight. If the situation escalates, fans may have to accept that the rematch might never happen.
Right? So Tank is on probation for that. So this will be a violation of his probation. But he's a celebrity. Nothing's going to happen. He's going to get a slap on the wrist. He has money and stuff like that. Now, the question I have is this. You know, what's going to happen with the Lamont Roach rematch? Will that fight still go on? Do you get what I'm saying? Now, I don't expect Tank Davis fans to, you know, they're going to brush it off like it ain't nothing, because that's what they do. They literally, a lot of them worship this guy. So, and I get it, I understand. However, will that fight still go on? That's probably why we haven't heard anything. I was listening to Blue Blood Sports TV, but then when I was listening to his video, guess what? I'm going to show y'all something. Now, some of y'all may say, oh, this is nothing. There's a podcaster that I watch all the time by the name of Ticket TV. I watch a lot of the big podcasters, right? I want y'all to see something. Y'all see this right here. Let me show y'all this. As you can see right here, Ticket TV is talking about this. And the title is this: Breaking News, Boxing Superstar Gervonta Tank Davis arrested for beating up woman.
The future of Gervonta Davis's upcoming bouts is uncertain as his legal troubles cloud plan matchups with Jake Paul and Lamont Roach. Though no cancellations have been confirmed, the situation is worrying promoters, fans, and broadcasters alike. Major boxing events depend on precise timing, momentum, and logistics, and legal issues can disrupt this delicate balance. Training camps, negotiations, and promotional campaigns are all scheduled to maximize impact. Any delay not only threatens the commercial appeal but could also undermine the competitive integrity and overall success of these highly anticipated fights.
This couldn't come at a worse time for Tank. Of course, he's chasing that rematch with Lamont Roach, and that big money Netflix fight with Paul. And this case could potentially cancel both of these fights. For the Roach rematch, it's just kind of being assumed that this fight is happening in mid-August. Everyone has seemed to acknowledge that it's happening, yet there's been no official announcements. Why has there been no official announcements? Well, maybe they were/are waiting to see what happens with the case. They have known that this was gonna probably come out for the last month, so maybe they were either bracing for impact or hoping it could be all sorted out. But we're now about a month out from the proposed rematch, and time is running out. Every day that goes by, it looks less and less likely, and the news today certainly won't instill any hope. Even if the rematch does happen, the conditions are about as bad as they can get for Tank. In what might be the highest pressure fight of his career, he won't have a complete camp and would have legal proceedings hanging over his head. Combine this with the fact that he seemed to be rattled and emotional after the draw, it's either a combination for a great performance or a combination for an absolute train crash.
As days pass, the likelihood of Davis fighting as planned appears to diminish. The Lamont Roach rematch carries weight given their unfinished rivalry, while the Jake Paul bout offers a lucrative chance to captivate both boxing fans and mainstream audiences. Organizers now face the challenge of preparing for everything from rescheduling to outright cancellation. For Davis, it's more than just missing fights. A delay could disrupt his momentum, impact his rankings, and break his competitive rhythm. With so much at stake, everyone involved in the sport is watching closely, hoping for swift resolution before these major opportunities slip away for good.
Absolute train crash. And Tank especially needed this rematch to be able to get that Jake Paul fight. The Jake fight was seemingly signed and sealed, and all he had to do was beat Roach. And after he didn't, he was pushed back until he could, with Jake in the meanwhile opting for Chavez. But Paul vs Tank is a fight that doesn't make too much sense on paper. But when you break down the circumstances around it, it kinda does make more sense. It would be another fight like Mayweather vs Logan. It's the biggest money fight and the biggest eye-drawing fight Tank can currently get. And for him, even with the size difference, he'd probably see it as a pretty easy night's work. And with all this, before the news broke today, there was a rumour in about the last week going around that they might be potentially skipping the Roach rematch and going straight to Paul. I wouldn't be surprised if that's still somewhat in the plans.
Before the controversy erupted, an online exchange between Gervonta and Lamont Roach fueled speculation about their potential rematch. Roach's confident, bold statements contrasted sharply with Davis's more guarded responses, leading some fans to question Davis's interest in facing Roach again. This digital back-and-forth sparked debate, with some interpreting Davis's tone as hesitation or distraction, while others believe it points to personal stress rather than reluctance. Regardless of the true motive, public interactions like these often shape how fans and analysts perceive fighters' intentions. As tension mounts outside the ring, such exchanges only deepen the uncertainty around what comes next.
Hey yo, Gervonta Davis cancels the rematch with Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach posted, laugh out loud, buddy know damn well I don't mess around like that. He gassing y'all up to justify why he ain't do his part of the deal yet. He really might pull out of this fight. Stay tuned. Gervonta Davis responded with, you a beat, I can meet you at your school, son, if you want. That got nothing to do with boxing. We talking about the fight that's supposed to be happening, the rematch, you feel me? And he want to respond about meeting you up outside, meeting you up at your son's school. That's a little confusing, my people, so it makes me feel like this might be true. Like, if it wasn't true, Gervonta Davis would have said, yo, what are you talking about? The fight's still on, you getting knocked out. Now I start trying to talk street, you feel me, my people? Let me know how you feel about this. Do you think this is true? Do you feel like Lamont Roach is just letting the cat out the bag? Like, yo, my people, Gervonta Davis might pull out of the fight. He's gassing y'all up and trying to start outside beef, but this is the truth. And if Gervonta Davis wasn't going to call out the fight, then he would have said, yo, that's a lie. I'm knocking him out, my people, you feel me? And then after this, Gervonta Davis also posted, yo, y'all could take the #1 spot. I don't care for boxing no more, my people. Pretty much saying like, yo, take it, Lamont Roach, because the next person that's behind him is Lamont Roach, because Lamont Roach just had the draw with him that everybody feels like he beat him, you feel me? Like Gervonta Davis before this, he was untouchable. Everybody felt like he was unbeatable. Nobody was going to beat Gervonta Davis. Whoever got in there is getting knocked out. And now that all switched once he got that draw with Lamont Roach, you feel me? And after all this, Gervonta Davis also was saying like, yo, we know where you live. We'll pull up to your house. We know where you live in Marlboro. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it, my people. Like, if we talking boxing, let's keep it boxing. But he's talking street out of nowhere, and that's what makes me feel like, man, he probably is going to call out the fight. Because if it wasn't, he would have said he's not.
Supporters of Gervonta recognize that he's facing one of the most challenging chapters of his career. As an elite athlete, he carries the dual burden of maintaining peak performance while managing intense public scrutiny and personal responsibilities. Striking a balance between staying competitively sharp and emotionally steady is a struggle many fighters know, but for Davis, the stakes feel even higher due to his fame and influence. Many fans and boxing analysts agree his emotional resilience now needs to match his physical prowess. Without addressing stress in a healthy way, his performance and long-term career could suffer. There's optimism that Davis will seek meaningful support, whether through trusted mentors, professional counseling, or re-evaluating his inner circle to regain clarity and control. His natural talent isn't in doubt, it's how he responds to the mounting pressure that will define his path forward. Ultimately, his ability to channel stress constructively could determine whether he keeps ascending in the sport or finds his momentum halted. At this pivotal moment, many are genuinely hoping Davis can refocus, rebuild his confidence, and return to the ring as a composed, determined, and fully prepared professional fighter ready to reclaim his place at the top.
Now, Gervonta, you better have that same energy when you get into that ring for this rematch with Lamont. Because I'm getting so tired of hearing about these DV charges you keep catching. So apparently Gervonta Davis has been arrested for another DV case. I think this is about his third or fourth one now, probably more than that. To be honest, this don't really shock me. Because y'all remember when he was dating Ari and they had got into a real bad and he pulled her wig off in the middle of the street, right? That incident was all over the internet. And fast forward, there was another incident that happened back in 2022 with another baby mama, where she claims that she was in the car and things got really rough between them and she made a frantic call to 911, which she should not have made, she claims. And also said that Gervonta did not hurt her or her daughter. So why did you call the police? It's giving, I'm not mad no more, and at the end of the day, that's my baby daddy. So let me go ahead and scrap this up, clear up this rumor so nothing else goes any further with this. I really don't understand what be going on with men putting their hands on people. It's like, even if you want to give Gervonta the benefit of the doubt and say that he's innocent, when you got track record of 4 or 5 DV cases, all proven guilty, bro, it gets to a point. Don't you blow off enough steam in the ring? And this is really disappointing for Gervonta, because it's like, do you want to throw away your career? You're literally #1 right now. You've been #1. You probably will stay #1 as long as you keep doing what you're doing. Because as many people as see it unfold, it seemed like Lamont Roach was his only real competition. He match on the way, by the way. Really big fight. He got to be there for that. I don't know what he's going through, and maybe it's just me, but I do feel like ever since that fight with Lamont Roach, he's been off lately. He ain't been on social media as much. Now he's going back to his ways like this. I'm gonna need to go check on that man. Y'all know what they say about boxers and the things that it does to the brain.
The first bout between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach ended in a controversial draw that left fans and analysts deeply divided. Since then, calls for a rematch have only grown louder, as many feel it's the only way to settle the debate for good. Walking away now would leave an unfinished chapter in Davis's otherwise impressive career. Despite his major victories and solid reputation, the unresolved fight with Roach still casts a shadow over his legacy. A conclusive rematch wouldn't just provide closure for fans, it would also reaffirm Davis's standing among boxing's elite. Historically, great fighters have sought to resolve unfinished business in the ring, using decisive wins to prove their dominance. With his skill, influence, and large following, Davis has a unique opportunity to reshape this narrative. Facing Roach again and securing a clear result could elevate his place in the sport's history, showing that he doesn't back down from controversy or challenge, even when the stakes are high.
It's official, August 16th, Lamont Roach, Tank Davis in Vegas. First and foremost, I've never seen somebody celebrate a draw so much in my entire life. My man went on a press tour saying he got the best version of Tank. Tank has no power, he has minimum skills, and it just made it seem like he was a cakewalk almost. One thing we do know, we see a lot of Lamont Roach and very little Tank, which is telling me somebody locked in and somebody's not. Lamont need to worry about putting the beer down and getting in the gym, because I haven't seen Tank since that fight ended, which lets me know he wants this rematch really, really bad, which means he's not coming to play around. Did he make a lot of mistakes in that last fight? Absolutely. Did he let you hang around too long? Absolutely. Did Lamont Roach show that he could take Tank's power? Absolutely. But we also know who looked like what at the end of the fight. If Tank shows up the same way he showed up in the last fight, Lamont, you may have a chance. 100%. If Tank actually turns on the heat in the beginning of the fight versus filling you out for the first 4 or 5 rounds, knockout in 6. But we're going to stay close to everything. We're going to watch some of the press runs and stuff like that, and we're going to see what type of Tank is going to show up, because one thing we do know is he was very uninterested in this whole ordeal. But it was very, very bad on Tank's part to actually have somebody move up who we had no clue about to hang around. That is what made Tank look so bad. It wasn't the fact that he had a draw in the fashion that he did. It was the fact that he was really supposed to clean you up because we didn't know you. So congrats to you for doing what you did and showing up that night. But some of the stuff you've been saying, it's just been like, all right, bro, remember, it was a draw. It was a draw. But what do y'all think? Who do y'all have for this rematch? How do you think it's going to go? Comment down below.
This latest controversy has reminded many observers of a similar episode in 2022, when Gervonta Davis faced legal issues just before his highly anticipated bout with Ryan Garcia. At the time, the sudden complications diverted public focus and raised doubts, though the fight ultimately went ahead. The parallels between then and now have sparked debate. Are these simply cases of bad timing, or do they point to deeper challenges Davis faces under pressure? Regardless of the cause, the recurring nature of these incidents is beginning to worry fans and analysts, who fear it could jeopardize his career's stability and momentum.
Transpired, I don't know any of the details. This is the information that is available to us as of this recording. So again, I'm saying unfortunate news because Tank Davis is scheduled to fight, and he's scheduled to fight in 11 days, and it's almost midnight my time, Pacific Standard Time. So that means really 10 days. Does this affect in any way? Will this affect Tank Davis and his fight? You know, I don't know. I don't know all the details, but we've seen stuff like this happen before in the past. And since it's so fresh, today being December 27th, I don't think it will impact or, you know, postpone his fight or anything like that, because it'll be too quick to go to trial or anything like that. However, some would wonder, could this affect him mentally, right? You left Mayweather Promotions, you're your own boss, doing your own thing. So this is your first foray into that. You have a difficult Olympian in terms of Hector Luis Garcia that you're getting ready to fight, a little bit taller and bigger than you. And, you know, now you have something in the background. This, I can't say is news to Gervonta Davis in terms of him having little run-ins, because he had a run-in with some type of vehicular hit and run.
Gervonta Davis now faces an uncertain road as his court date approaches on July 29, 2025. Although no final decisions have been announced, speculation is growing that he may need to step away from boxing for up to a year. For an athlete in his prime, such an interruption could significantly affect his conditioning, visibility, and competitive standing. Boxing careers rely on rhythm, and time out of the ring often breaks that vital momentum. If Davis is forced to pause, it could derail opportunities for championship bouts, lucrative endorsements, and major matchups, potentially altering the entire course of his near future in the sport. This wouldn't simply be a temporary delay, it might reshape a career that still carries enormous potential. As fans and analysts watch closely, one truth stands out: Davis's response to this pivotal moment will play a defining role in determining whether his legacy continues to rise.
Gervonta got arrested, so the fight is off, y'all. So Gervonta got arrested for allegedly smacking his baby mother. And they was like, this not the first time. Damn, my boy. Now, I don't know if the fight is really not going to happen. I'm just saying, if I was Gervonta, I would not even do this fight, because this is just a distraction. Look at him, y'all. He don't even look focused. He look like he in a sunken place. He just looking like, damn, fuck. So he was arrested in Miami on July 11th. They said this little altercation that supposedly happened between him and his baby mother happened on June 15th, which was Father's Day. So they say Gervonta went to his ex-girlfriend's house to go pick up the kids. And when the kids got in the car, an argument happened, allegedly, between him and the baby mother. And he told her, hey, get these kids. And then when she proceeded to get the kids out the car, that's when she said he struck her in her face. Now, y'all, I don't know if he did it. I'm hoping he didn't do it. That's my boy. So she said after he did that to her, she had a minor cut on her lip from the incident. This shit crazy, fool. So what do y'all think? If it was you in this situation, how long you think he finna sit? And would you still do this boxing match that's supposed to happen on August? I'm just telling y'all, I don't know, bruh. He do not look like he focused. I don't want this man to get in that ring and then lose that like for show. Go in there and fuck around, get knocked out. I'm like, damn, bruh. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments.
Given the current circumstances, some suggest this could be the perfect moment for Davis to step back and reassess. Taking a break doesn't have to mean leaving boxing behind for good. It could instead be a chance to reset and gain perspective. With strong support around him, time away from the spotlight might help Davis return sharper and more focused. After all, true champions are defined not just by victories, but by how they navigate adversity. This period could become an opportunity for Davis to rebuild and emerge even stronger, both in life and in the ring.
That's why I don't want boxing more. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me where so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry. You know what I mean? Because I have two girls, two daughters. I'm wanting to be much softer. You know what I mean? Be more humble and things like that.
Shout out to Tank Davis saying that he's going to go to therapy, because he wants to soften up for his daughters, and he wants to let go of the anger. And yes, although maybe the anger served him in his boxing career, it's not currently serving him now at the moment, being a father. So shout out for Tank Davis. I mean, that's a real man. A real man is willing to be gentle in a tough, cruel world, right? It doesn't take much for us to be angry in an angry world. It takes a lot of courage for us to soften up and shine our light, whereas we've been maybe in darkness our whole lives, or maybe our darkness caused success, right? So like Tank Davis obviously became successful, putting the anger towards boxing, but now he's on this next level of life, and stepping into his therapy era, which I love to see. So shout out to Tank Davis for stepping into your healing era. Let's go.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.